Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my $1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's tip. Now, I buy the vast majority of my stuff on eBay. And you guys see me do eBay scammer videos all the time. So the question then becomes, how do I know if I'm getting scammed or not? And how come you never tell us the list of people you buy from on eBay? Well, hopefully the answer to that question's obvious. If I tell you who I'm buying stuff for that cheap, well, I won't be able to buy that stuff that cheap anymore. Um, I'm not going to go through the cheat codes you can use to figure out what the sellers are, who the sellers are that I buy from. If you know eBay, you can probably figure it out. But the thing is that many times I will buy from sellers that I've never bought from before. There are a lot of good sellers on eBay. There are many, many, many more honest people on eBay than there are scammers. And hopefully, with all the scammer videos that I did, I've given you guys an idea as to what to look for when it comes to particular scams. If you see a seller who's trying to sell the garbage and then they've got a bill that you're interested in, well, then you gotta think twice. If you see somebody trying to sell something that you know is not an error and they're calling it an error, well, then chances are they may be a little bit dishonest with some of their other stuff as well. I mean, what are the odds that the guy's got 100 things and 5 of them are sketchy and 5 of them you know nothing about? Well, that's not a good reputation builder. You want to make sure that the people you buy from accept returns. You want to make sure the people you buy from have had plenty of sales. You want to check their feedback. But you are allowed to gamble. I've had a couple notes that I've bought just crossing my fingers that they were going to show up. And they did. There were times that I've paid many hundreds of dollars for a note on a gamble. Maybe that's just in my blood, being a poker player, poker dealer, and frequent Vegas attendee. I have that little bit of gamble in me. There's been 1 or 2 times that things have gone south, but in the long run, I have come out way ahead. So if you're afraid to go on eBay, I'm telling you, go ahead and take that plunge. Just be careful. And once you understand what's going on, then you can be a little bit more risky. But for the most part, eBay is a great place to buy stuff. All right, I got my 1,000 singles here. Let's get these out of the way and take a look at what I found this week. Starting off, I've got another semi-birthday note. It says 1977, the 26th of December. That's backwards for a birthday note. I happen to find a couple of these, as you can see, in the last few weeks. I don't normally show this many of them, but I mean, there they are. Found them. Is it worth anything? I don't know. It's maybe worth something to somebody born December 26, 1977. And even then, since it's in the wrong order, they're not going to pay full price for it. But it's neat. I'd be excited if I saw my birthday even in the wrong order. Found a Where's George. This one I almost missed because they stamped it on the side like that. And this one here, they just wrote Where's George on there, which is perfectly fine. You don't need a stamp to participate in Where's George. You can simply write it on the bill and then log the bill as a Where's George note, spend it, and wait to see if anybody finds it. Another Where's George right here with a similar pattern that I've seen on other notes. I've got some trinaries, 0s, 3s, and 7s. You can see the wet ink transfer here, not worth anything. It's a trinary, it's not worth anything for that. It's not worth anything for the wet ink transfer. I just collect trinaries trying to pair serial numbers. Another trinary, 0s, 4s, and 8s. This one is quads, quad 2s, also no additional value. I simply pull them trying to make pairs. Don't believe people who are telling you these are worth money. They aren't. They won't give me $2 for these when I tell them I have 1,600 of them. So you can have them all for $3,200. They won't do it. Why not? Because they're not worth anything. That's why. Let's see. Oh, this one's another trinary. Must have had that one out of order. 4s, 5s, and 7s. This one is 0s, 4s, and 6s. And 2s, 3s, and 5s. 0s, 5s, and 7s. 0s, 1s, and 8s. ones, threes, and sevens. One of the fun questions that I use to prove that trinaries aren't worth anything is, you see my results of 1,000 notes that I search every week. And the question is never, did I find a trinary? The question is always, how many did I find? And if that's the question, if the question is how many do you find every week, well, that should make it pretty clear that there is no additional value. This is threes, fours, and nines. Still going on trinaries, twos, threes, and sixes, ones, sevens, and sixes, ones, twos, and fives. And finally, we get to the quads. Quad twos with a fifth, quad sixes, quad sevens, and the stars. 2017A star note. Always check to see if they're filled. Another 2017. Oh, this is a 2017, not a 2017A. 2017 here. 2017. 2017. 2013 with some marker on it, so it's probably going back in circulation. 2013B. Now, normally you're looking for notes in the duplicate series of the 2013B, and those would be notes that are 032 all the way up to 096. You're looking for 3.2 million all the way up to 9.6 million. They duplicated those notes, but they also duplicated some of the low-end notes. Numbers 1 through 250,000 are also duplicates, and this, if you read it as just a number, is 104,000, right? That's part of the low-end duplicate range. So this is also one of the duplicate notes, also worth roughly 20 bucks. I found one of these every week for the last 3 weeks, I believe, maybe the last 4 weeks. Then you get to the older notes. This is a 2003A, 2003A, 2003A. Most of those are rough, and I'm going to go back. This one's pretty nice, 2003. 2003, also in good shape. 2003 with not an error. This is a teller stamp, so no additional money there. 2003, 1999, 1995, 1993 with tape on it, so that's going away. And the oldest note I found, this is from 1988A. Checking, it's not a web note. All right, so what did I pull out this week? This week, I bought this off of eBay, which I thought was kind of interesting. This is a silver certificate. You can see it's from the series of 1935D. 35D silver certificate, not perfect. It's got a little bit of, looks like marker or something on the top. Looks like something here, like it was next to something that got stamped, or somewhere in that range. So it's not perfect. It's in pretty good condition. But the cool part about this is right here. It has the courtesy signature. This was actually autographed by the Treasurer of the United States. You're going to find a lot of notes that have either the Treasurer or the Secretary of the Treasury with a courtesy autograph. Now, the courtesy autographs generally put the note in the $20 to $40 range. I mean, more so if you have both the signatures, but either signature, you're still talking, 20-ish. Maybe if you have both signatures, 40 to 50, somewhere in that range. But the thing is this particular note, 1935D, doesn't really have a whole lot of value unless it's got the signature. And if we look here, this is Paper Money of the United States. I better show that before you guys all start typing in, what book is that? There's Paper Money of the United States. And if we look here, we've got silver certificates. This one is a 1935D. And here, there's the wide and the narrow. And that has to do with the borders. But you'll see that in VG8, they're $2 a piece, $2 a piece, $4 a piece. If they were perfect, you're talking $30, $35 a piece. These aren't perfect. So you're talking a note that's worth $3 to $5. But because it's got the courtesy signature on there, now all of a sudden it's worth $20, $30. That's what makes this a little bit exciting. So if you have the opportunity to get a courtesy signature, it's always a cool thing to add to your collection. This one you can see does not have In God We Trust, because that didn't happen until the 1935G series. Anyway, that's what a courtesy signature looks like on a note when it's actually signed by the person. And yeah, a cool ad. You'll see these pop up on eBay from time to time, and if you don't have one, It's always cool to add one. That's the deal with these. All right, if you learned anything new this week, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. I love reading all your comments. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys again next week.